This evening, first up, a body recovered but a family still waiting. One crew member was pulled from the sea after a barge sank offshore, but a second man is still missing tonight. Then $100,000 and it's coming soon. Finance Minister Ashni Singh announces when and how Guyanese will start receiving the national cash grant. Thus, vendors around the Cuffy Monument are being moved out. The city says the landmark needs protection, but where will the traders go? Meanwhile, fuel prices have not gone up, so says GUYOIL, hitting back at what it calls false and malicious claims circulating online. And the Middle East war is now hitting wallets worldwide. From European petrol pumps to supermarket shelves, energy and food prices are climbing, and Russia is offering help that the EU doesn't want. Those stories and more coming up. Stay with us. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for March 12, 2026. I'm Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, the government of Guyana will begin distributing the $100,000 national cash grant to citizens aged 18 and older, with central government employees set to receive the first payments through direct bank transfers. The announcement was made earlier today by Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, who said the first group of beneficiaries will be public servants already receiving their salaries through bank accounts. These individuals are expected to receive the grant by the end of next week. The initiative fulfills the commitment made by President Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali and outlined during the government's Guyana's 2026 national budget presentation. Approximately 50,000 public servants, teachers, and members of the discipline service are expected to benefit in the first phase of the rollout. Authorities say the use of bank transfers align with the government's broader digitalization agenda and efforts to promote financial inclusion. President Ali has encouraged citizens to open bank accounts to enable faster, more secure, and more transparent payments. To facilitate payments to the wider public, the government plans to launch an online registration platform that allows eligible citizens to sign up to receive the grant. The Ministry of Finance has also been working with local banks to simplify account opening, including online registration options. The $100,000 cash grant rollout is part of a broader set of financial support initiatives introduced by the administration aimed at increasing disposable income and expanding access to financial services nationwide. The government says more details on the next phase of the distribution will be announced soon. In other news, the Mayor and City Council of Georgetown have announced new measures affecting vendors operating around the Cuffy Monument and the Stabroek Market as the city moves to improve the management of public spaces and undertake infrastructure upgrades. Georgetown Mayor Alfred Mentor said vendors currently operating around the monument at the Square of the Revolution will be required to vacate the area following the council's unanimous decision. The move comes amid concerns that commercial and other activities are affecting the integrity of the landmark, which commemorates the 1963 Berbice Slave Rebellion led by national hero Cuffy.
I have always stood with the position that the Cuffy is a historical site. It's a place that shouldn't be desecrated by all of these different persons vending in a very ad hoc fashion.
According to Mentor, vendors will be given 14 days to remove from the area after receiving official notice. The owners of trailers parked behind the monument will have 24 hours to relocate their vehicles. The mayor noted that the council is working to identify alternative locations where affected vendors can continue their trade.
We will look at an alternative place that they could possibly go. I mean, the council is not required by law to provide vending spaces for everyone. We try to work and accommodate persons and to deal with those matters and to address them as we go along.
Meanwhile, vendors operating under the canopy at the Stabroek Market will soon face temporary relocation as rehabilitation works begin on the market's roof and drainage system. The project, which starts Monday, will be executed in 2 phases over approximately 2 weeks. During the repairs, vendors from the northern canopy will first be relocated to designated roadside areas, with southern vendors moved once work on the first section is completed. The council will temporarily block sections of nearby roads to allow vendors to continue operating while construction is underway. Moving on, amidst circulating claims of rising fuel costs, the Ghana Oil Company Limited GUYOIL has moved to reassure the public that there has been no increase in fuel prices at its service stations nationwide. In a statement, GUYOIL categorically denied reports suggesting that prices for gasoline, diesel, kerosene, and ultra-low sulfur diesel have been raised. The company stated that the claims are false, misleading, and malicious, and urged the public to disregard information from unofficial sources. According to the state-owned fuel supplier, misinformation about fuel prices can undermine public confidence and distort important national discussions, particularly on matters affecting the economy and consumers. GUYOIL explained that its pricing structure is guided by a strict regulatory and compliance framework that ensures transparency while protecting consumers from market volatility. The company also works closely with relevant regulatory authorities to maintain a stable fuel supply and fair pricing across its network of service stations. As Ghana's national fuel supplier, GUYOIL said it remains committed to providing a reliable fuel supply and competitive prices to motorists, businesses, and households nationwide. The company is encouraging the public to rely only on its official channels for accurate information regarding fuel prices and supplies. Stick around when we return. Murder and serious wounding investigated at Siperuni River mining camp, and body of missing barge crew member recovered after molasses vessel sinks off Buxton.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Healing streams. A moment of love, a moment of grace, a moment of His power. You can put your hand wherever you want this power to be manifested.
The free. No, I can't jump. I can't walk.
Healing streams this March would be something like the world has never seen before. Get up and get ready.
Oh, beautiful Guyana, to all our wonderful Guyanese people across the country and around the world, you are warmly invited to live healing stream services taking place from Friday 13th to Sunday 15th of March 2026. Experience powerful prayer, uplifting worship, and a message of healing and hope, all from the comfort of your home. Join us live on YouTube or Facebook and be part of this life-changing spiritual experience. For more information or prayer requests, contact Sister Bernice at 695-0942. Don't miss it. Your healing may be just one prayer away. Welcome back. Police in Regional Division 8 are on the hunt for 3 men following a violent attack at a mining camp on the Siperuni River that left 1 man dead and 2 others injured on Tuesday, March 10th. The deceased has been identified as 32-year-old miner Roel Lacruz, also known as Kabulu, of Warapoka Village, Northwest District. The 2 others, a 36-year-old miner from Blegazek, East Coast Amarara, and Fairview Village, North Rupununi, and a 25-year-old from Parmakatoy Village, North Pacarimas, sustained serious injuries. Preliminary investigations indicate that the crews and another miner were in the kitchen area of the dredging operation when 3 men approached them, accusing them of stealing gold from a sluice box. The suspects reportedly forced the miners to a nearby watch camp where they, along with other individuals, assaulted the victims using a handgun, cutlasses, and a mattock handle. The two injured miners were assisted by citizens and taken towards the riverfront for medical attention. Unfortunately, the crew succumbed to his injuries during transport and was later pronounced dead at the Linden Hospital complex. His body is at the mortuary awaiting a post-mortem examination. The other two injured men were admitted to separate medical facilities for treatment. Police are actively searching for the three suspects and have secured the crime scene as investigations continue. In other news, the body of a crew member who went missing after a tanker barge sank offshore on Monday has been recovered as search efforts continue for a second missing worker. Dead is Revenger Besundial, 22-year-old, whose body was discovered on Wednesday after the vessel Trader 3 went down around 9.5 nautical miles off Buxton. Besundial, also known as Videsh, was one of the two crew members reported missing after the barge sank while transporting molasses from Berbice to Georgetown around 1 a.m. on Monday. Relatives later identified his body following its recovery. The second crew member, 52-year-old Gregory Singh, remains missing as search operations continue. According to the Maritime Administration Department, a distress signal was received shortly after the incident, prompting the activation of emergency search and rescue operations. The search is being coordinated by MARID's Emergency Operations Coordinator, Captain John Flores, with support from the Ghana Defense Force Coast Guard and the vessel's owner. Family members revealed that before the vessel disappeared, Besundial had contacted his mother and told her that the barge was sinking. Authorities said the search for the remaining crew member is ongoing. Don't go away after the break. U.S. Vice President faces Iran dilemma. Conflict exposes differences with Trump and South Korea manufacturing. Energy crisis due to closure of Strait of Hormuz.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Healing streams. A moment of love, a moment of grace, a moment of His power. You can put your hand wherever you want this power to be manifested.
You're free. No, I can't jump. I can't walk.
Healing streams this March would be something like the world has never seen before. Get up and get ready.
Oh, beautiful Guyana, to all our wonderful Guyanese people across the country and around the world, you are warmly invited to live healing stream services taking place from Friday 13th to Sunday 15th of March 2026. Experience powerful prayer, uplifting worship, and a message of healing and hope, all from the comfort of your home. Join us live on YouTube or Facebook and be part of this life-changing spiritual experience. For more information or prayer requests, contact Sister Bernice at 695-0942. Don't miss it. Your healing may be just one prayer away. Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world.
Good evening, I'm Dominic Hittins. Tonight, Jamaica plans to tax overseas digital services as online shopping cuts into local retail. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance faces pressure over Washington's war on Iran. South Korean firms seek aid, and Europe feels rising energy and food costs. We begin in Jamaica. Jamaica's Finance Minister Favour Williams has announced plan to apply general consumption tax to overseas digital services used in Jamaica, targeting the growing shift towards untaxed online shopping. Opening the budget debate, Williams warned that tax-free digital purchases are silently undermining local retailers and costing jobs. The measure, part of the 2026-2027 revenue proposals, is expected to generate approximately $300 million by the fourth quarter of the fiscal year. US Vice President J.D. Vance is navigating a difficult political balance between his historical identity as an isolationist who opposed foreign wars and his job as an advocate for Donald Trump's war on Iran. Al Jazeera's John Hendren reports.
The Iran war has set off an intellectual battle within the Republican Party and a conflict for one of its leading voices. It pits J.D. Vance.
Our interest, I think, very much is in not going to war with Iran, right?
Against J.D. Vance.
We're not at war with Iran, we're at war with Iran's nuclear program.
2 years have passed between those two statements. In that time, the vice president has gone on something of an ideological journey. Vance rose to political prominence as an Iraq War veteran who'd become an anti-interventionist and critic of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. In the 2024 election campaign, as candidate Donald Trump's running mate, then Senator Vance argued that Trump would not send Americans to fight wars overseas.
We're going to stop sending our young people to faraway lands. We are not the policemen of the world.
That was then. This is now, during President Donald Trump's war.
He's not going to let his country go to war unless there's a clearly defined objective. He's defined that objective as Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon and has to commit long-term to never trying to rebuild their nuclear capability. It's pretty clear. It's pretty simple.
Vance now argues that this time the U.S. would avoid the kind of quagmires that extended the Middle East wars of the past.
Have you said thank you once?
He opposed U.S. involvement in the war in Ukraine.
We ought to focus on our own security, not subsidize European welfare. They can take care of themselves.
Supporting President Trump's war in Iran could come at a political cost. As a likely presidential candidate in 2028, Vance faces the challenge of holding together the coalition that propelled Republicans to victory in 2024. His defense of the war could complicate his political future in a party that remains divided over foreign intervention. Vance and the Trump administration are already contending with the ire of conservative isolationists who oppose the war.
Nothing whatsoever to do with us. This is Israel's war.
That's a contention the Trump administration faces today, and if he becomes the party's next standard bearer, one that Vance might well confront in 2028. John Hendren, Al Jazeera, Washington.
In South Korea, about 14,000 businesses with ties to the Middle East are in crisis and seeking government aid due to the US and Israel war in Iran. Many more that depend on oil-based petrochemicals face imminent closure. Al Jazeera's Jack Barton reports.
South Korean plastics manufacturer Hwangman-ik inspecting the last bags of raw materials produced from crude oil. Only 1 in 4 workers remain, and all production is about to stop.
Yesterday I got a phone call saying that suddenly there's a shortage of raw materials. So the raw material provider is no longer shipping them out.
It's a story being told across South Korea after US and Israeli attacks on Iran triggered an energy crisis far beyond the Middle East.
Everything is connected in a chain. So rather than just plastic factories being affected, petrochemicals have ripple effects across the entire industry.
A ripple that affects everything from automobiles and cosmetics to fertilizer and food. All of which are being hit by the additional impact of rising transport costs, leading to inflation, lowered growth forecasts, and a battered Korean won. 70% of South Korea's oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz off the coast of Iran. Tehran's Revolutionary Guard has effectively closed the waterway as part of the war.
It would be advisable to work closely with strategic partner countries to swiftly identify alternative supply routes that do not pass through the Strait of Hormuz.
But alternatives will come at a higher price, and they will arrive too late for many.
The domestic economy is already extremely bad and has already sunk to the bottom. And if on top of that we face destruction of raw material supply, then factories like ours would have difficulty surviving.
Until oil transit returns to normal, all Hwang can do is oversee the final order his company can fill on a machine about to fall silent. Jack Barton, Al Jazeera, solve.
From supermarket aisles in Athens to petrol pumps across Europe, the Middle East war is driving up energy costs and, with oil underpinning farming and transport, food prices too. Al Jazeera's Nicholas Haig reports.
The aisles of a supermarket in Athens, a new front in the war in the Middle East. As energy prices rise, so does the cost of food. Oil powers the farms that produce it, the trucks that move it, and the factories that package it. Europeans are paying the price for a war unfolding far away.
Of course I'm worried, because the price increases have already put many families in serious difficulty.
I don't know what will happen. It worries me.
Prices at the pump in Europe are approaching $2 a liter. The war is disrupting oil and gas supplies, and Europe does not have enough. Russia does. And President Vladimir Putin is offering help. But European nations have reduced their dependence on Russian energy since it invaded Ukraine in 2022. And some leaders say backtracking would be a mistake.
Yet in current crisis, some argue that we should abandon our long-term strategy and even go back to Russian fossil fuels. This would be a strategic blunder. It would make us more dependent, more vulnerable and weaker.
This situation in no way justifies lifting the existing sanctions against Russia, which must remain in place.
As a temporary fix, the International Energy Agency is releasing 400 million barrels of emergency crude, an unprecedented move to shield Europeans and stabilize the price of oil. Governments, too, are stepping up. Hungary is capping fuel prices. Italy is considering a windfall tax on energy companies. France is monitoring prices at fuel stations, and Greece is expanding subsidies to help households cope with rising costs.
Since the beginning of the conflict in the Middle East, energy has been a crucial weapon wielded by all parties. Now, thousands of kilometers away, European leaders are scrambling to reinforce their economic defenses as the war's front line seems to be expanding. Nicholas Hawk, Al Jazeera, Brussels.
Thanks, Dominic. This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's it to be to Headline News for this Thursday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other.